treasure. So we'll see what treasures we can find today. How'd it go at dog days today?
Hot.
Hot?
Yep.
Did I get grouchy when I'm sweaty?
No.
No?
No.
You don't think I was grouchy? No.
Mm-mm.
Whatever. Here's what I got at dog days. Can you scoot up? You're a little bit too far back.
Fire.
That's better. Okay, welcome to Jeff. This is my husband. So you have submitted some questions that you want to ask him. So he is happy to be here today, right?
Yep.
Okay. Can you see that question? It's not going to be on the screen. It's like, hovering in front of his face right now. Okay, the first question I wanted to start with comes from Angela. And she said, I love a good love story. I think it would be interesting to hear how you two met and what attracted you to each other, and if he suspected you were on the spectrum and vice versa. I hope that's not too personal. When I met my husband, I never felt a better fit from day one, and it was because we're both on the spectrum. Although I didn't know that then. My heart was finally home. That's really sweet, Angela.
I Googled and found her. No.
I was a mail order bride.
Yeah, right.
I came
no,
from the
we
Czech
did meet
Republic.
online, though.
Yes. So we met on Match.com. We met on the free trial. And what did you see about my profile picture that you liked?
She just had a picture of holding up this ceramic shoe, and I was like, well, that she looks really awesome. And I was like, she's going to probably be my next wife.
Yeah, for real. And he didn't care that I was 7 years older than him, so I'm robbing the cradle there. Yeah, you really got to see his profile picture, so I'm going to put it on here so you can see what I saw for the first time. But he pulled up in a really cool car with some yellow roses. Yeah, we went and ate at, what was that Italian restaurant?
Was it Macaroni Grill back then?
We ate and we people watched and we had fun talking about other people, and we went to a movie, and to this day neither one of us can tell you what the movie was, so I guess we were just very focused on each other or something, because I don't remember. Usually the girl is supposed to remember everything that happened. I'm not like that. I don't remember things like that. So that's how we met, and we got engaged about 6 months later. You proposed.
Yeah, I think that's right.
On his knee, he had a little note he was reading to me, and I'm going to find that note one day. I know I didn't throw it away, but that's how we met. Okay. We've been married 16 years. So the next one was a question by Gwenny, and so she asked, since diagnosis, has anything changed about the way you feel about me and how we relate? So that question's for you, Jeff. What would you say? Has anything changed about the way you feel about me since my diagnosis?
I don't think so, because, I mean, if you've had it for a while, and I've always loved you. So, I mean, it's just everyday thing. You just get used to everything, and then when you have your bad days, you just need your time alone, so.
Yeah, he's been there through everything, and he's very understanding and doesn't treat me any different, which I really appreciate. I just want to be treated the same, and he does understand when I need time to myself. He knows if I am upset and I don't get time to myself, that I can go into a full-on meltdown.
Right.
And I had several of those when we first got married, where I would just run to the room, lock the door, and cry on the floor. But I would go in there and lock the door, and he would beg me to unlock the door, or he'd get the screwdriver and open the door, because he didn't like to see me in torment like that. But now he understands. Now if I were to go in there and lock the door, would you be trying to get in there with the screwdriver, or would you let me alone?
I'll leave you alone.
He let me alone because he knows that's what's best for me, and that's what I need. Okay, thank you, Gwenny, for the question. Okay, the next question comes from Art in the Making. Your question was, do you think Jenny has changed after her diagnosis and after she unmasked? And does that affect your relationship? Do you feel like I've changed in any way since the diagnosis?
Not, like I said earlier, no. It's just how I got used to how you've been, and so it's just really, I'm used to how you are every day.
What do you mean how I am every day? What is that supposed to mean?
No.
Why don't you elaborate on that?
Well, I mean, you have some good days, you have some bad days, but, when you're having your bad days, I give you your time to yourself. But, I mean, I'm around you every day, so it's like just knowing what you've been diagnosed with doesn't really change anything because you probably had it, like I said, since when we first met.
Yeah, it's a neurological condition. You're born with it.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm just...
But do you understand what it means when I say unmasked? Like, how do I often act when I come home from work? Like, what does my face look like?
Yeah, well, that's what we have issues with a lot of times because I always look at you and be like, are you okay? Is there something wrong? And you're like, no, this is just my everyday face.
Because I've masked all day at work.
Yeah.
And my counselor has gotten on to me for that, saying that I really need to mask less at work and give my son and husband more of myself when I come home. Because when I mask, it drains me. I'm drained. So he understands, even though it's still hard for him. He still wants to ask, are you okay, as well as my son.
Right.
But he has to realize what I'm feeling on the inside is not always what's showing on the outside. So yes, and I feel like I can totally be myself around Jeff. I can be unmasked and feel like I can be myself. Like, it's hard to explain, but when you feel like you can be yourself around somebody, it's worth so much, that I can just unwind around my husband. And I love that about him. Okay, the next question is from Mr. Daydreamer. Okay, it's a two-part question. It says, prior to Jenny's diagnosis, what did you think was going on with Jenny?
I just thought she was always upset with me or something was wrong,
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I just thought, well, maybe she's just not loving me anymore because I've had that in my past. And so.
Because I'm not naturally a very affectionate person. I struggle affectionate-wise, like showing him how I feel affectionate-wise. My gestures are just so rigid normally. It's just... I'm just always sitting in one position. It's hard. I have to remember to move myself around sometimes. Okay, the second part is, were you really surprised or not surprised by Jenny's diagnosis?
No, that didn't really surprise me that much. I mean, it helped out understand what was going on with some of the way that she was acting, but...
And what do you mean by that?
I mean, it made me understand more why she had that look on her face, and that's not towards me. It's just something that's going on within. And yeah, it didn't really surprise me too much. So it just gave an understanding of what to expect and how to go about better understanding her and, what I can do to help her better. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the question. And so the next one, Stephen Colligan, he says, what do you do to show Jenny you love her? Now, he's in a relationship, I believe, if I remember correctly, where he's the one that's neurotypical, and the person he's married to or dating is like me, autistic, neurodivergent. So he might like some of your advice on what you do to show me that you love me.
Well, I mean, I keep the house clean. There's not hardly any times at all that she has to do dishes or laundry. I'd usually do pretty good about keeping the house really clean, so when she comes home, she's got a nice clean house to come home to. Just keeping it down low with, not trying to start up any arguments and letting her have a peaceful place to come home to when she first comes in, when she gets home in the afternoon.
That's true. I mean, I'm really lucky because he will do dishes. He prefers to do the laundry. He thinks I don't know how to do laundry. But I'm okay with that because he does all the laundry. Now, we have started having our son do more chores. Now my son unloads and loads the dishwasher and does the garbage. And that takes some extra off my husband because both of us work full time. He has to do less than he had to. But yeah, he definitely helps out around the house. And I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah. And you have to understand when it's time that they need their time alone. Best to just let them have their time alone. Let them process what's going on through their head. And then when it's good enough, they'll come out and let you know. So. And
I will say my husband has to have his own time alone, too. You are just like me in that aspect. Yeah. He will go out there in that hammock, and that's his peaceful place.
Yep,
that's his
getaway.
Place. So I would say both me and my husband have to have our alone time. And if he's out there in his hammock, I'm not worried. I'm just able to do what I want to do while he's doing what he wants to do. So it just works out for us in that way. Thank you, Stephen, for the question. I hope we answered it. From Stacy. And she said, "Hi, Jenny. My question would be, how do you think you were able to best help Jenny rebound when she's struggling or overwhelmed with some of the autism challenges that hinder life?"
That's you.
No, that's for you.
How do you think you were able to
Best help Jenny.
Well, it goes all back to letting her have her time and her space, and, just understanding that she has a lot going through, and she might have had a bad day at work, or, just a bad day in typical with her son.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to let it just ride on your shoulders and just let her have her time and peace. And
it's not easy to be a parent when you're autistic, is it? Do you
No.
see struggles that I have as far as social situations with other parents and other people my son's associated with? I'm working on that, but it's not easy. And I'm so glad my son has friends and things. But I currently just have to sometimes take some extra melatonin or valerian root just to calm me down, take the edge off so I can be around people more easy. So yes, and I would say that Jeff doesn't have to get the screwdriver and open the door anymore. If I lock and close it, he understands.
She hasn't locked the door, though.
I haven't, because I know he's not going to barge in, but he understands, and that's the main thing. I'm thankful for the diagnosis because he understands what I need, and he's able to comply. All right, and then the other question was from Lisa. It says, how do you know when Jenny is headed for a meltdown or a shutdown? What signs do you see specifically?
It's all facial expressions usually. It almost looks like she's going to be just crying, and she just wants to be left alone. You can tell that because she'll go and close the door and be off to herself. Just let her have her time and let her have that little meltdown if she needs one, and then she comes out of it. So.
But it's not only facial expressions. I can really, you can tell by the things I'm saying. I'm giving you hints by the things I'm saying about how agitated I am. You can hear it in my voice, no doubt. Right?
That's right.
But do I have a lot of meltdowns, would
No.
you say? No, it's
not too many. It's
not been as bad because right now things in my life have been going pretty good. But I want to say thank you, Lisa, for your question. So this question is from Cecile, and it says, maybe I should change my question to ask him if he's ever considered he could be autistic too, or if he would try to take an online test to compare what you have in common and what is different.
Well, she keeps telling me that I am, but I don't know.
Maybe one day we'll do one of those online tests, just so you know, because we are a lot alike. I mean, no doubt. I wanted to ask him a few questions of my own, so I've got a few questions. So first of all, I was going to ask Jeff, what do you think my hobbies are? What do you perceive my hobbies to be? What do I enjoy doing?
You enjoy doing your YouTube videos, like I'd say 90% of the time. That's your big thing right now, is getting your videos out there. And other than that, I mean, you enjoy reading your Bible every morning. I know that. So
play the canjo a lot
and
lately.
Every afternoon. Yep, she's on the porch playing her canjo.
Getting pretty good at that. And all right, my next question was, do I seem to have rigid routines or repetitive behavior that you're aware of? Rigid routines or repetitive behaviors?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's pretty much the same. You come home from work, you do your online stuff, internet, and that takes you a couple hours, and we sit on the couch and watch TV together, and then it's bedtime. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess
you're not really here in the morning to see me getting ready as far as doing the same way I get things ready. What I eat would you say I eat about the same thing every day? Like, I am very repetitive on what I eat. Breakfast, lunch, sometimes supper, very repetitive in my routines and behaviors and things. Do I wear about the same thing? Don't I? T-shirts and jeans, isn't that everyday tennis shoes?
Yep.
So I like to be comfortable. He knows that. All right, the next question is for him. Have you ever been aware before I went into a meltdown? You were aware a meltdown was coming for me?
Sometimes and sometimes not. Sometimes, you can see it building up, but sometimes it's just out of the blue. And it's like, whoa, what just happened? Mm-hmm. One little thing could have triggered it. And you think, oh no, what happened? What did I do? And you think all the time, oh, she's mad at me. And so
you can probably see it on my face when it's coming. I will let you know before that's going to happen. And I don't have them as much as I used to, do I? A long time ago, I really had a lot of meltdowns, breakdowns,
a lot of
throwing things in the bedroom, locking the door, screaming. I've been able to control it a little better. And my situation at home and work has been better, and that affects if I have a meltdown. So at work, things are going good for me, so I'm less likely to have a meltdown unless a big situation happens. The next question I have was, do you notice if I have any sensitivities to sounds or smells or anything? Smells?
Yeah.
So in what way?
More smells, because every time we get something that smells good in the house, you come in and say, oh, it's just too strong. And me and Christian will look at each other and we're like, what? This smells good to us. So.
Yeah. There have been times that the sound of your voice has, haven't I said something, your voice being too loud for my ears. I feel like if I'm agitated, my sensitivities are higher to things, hypersensitive more to things. So yeah, smells, sounds, definitely. The next question I have was, would you marry me all over again if you had a choice?
Yes.
Well, I would marry you all over again. I feel like I hit the jackpot. I mean...
Yeah, poor jackpot.
You know, our ship's going to come in one day, I'm sure of it, you know, yeah. But we do our best, you know, we are doing the best we can, and
we're making it.
And we're making it. But, yeah, I'm just hoping in the future that he will consider doing an online test for autism, too, being that we're so alike. And I've lived with him 16 years. You know, we're just, I just love to know, you know, and maybe he would like to know, too. What if we both had autism? How would that change things?
No, it wouldn't change nothing.
Wouldn't change anything. We just both know.
I don't know. I guess just be there for each other, and whenever things seem to go wrong, you always trust in God. I
like that. I like that a lot. Yes. Yep. Thank you for joining me as a special guest. You may see clips of Jeff every now and then. If you have any more questions for Jeff, put them down in the comments. Maybe we would consider doing another part 2 if we get enough questions. I hope that this was able to help you in some way, and I appreciate you watching this channel. And can you do the outro?
Well, thanks for watching the video, and if you like this, please subscribe and hit the little bell. And if you like this kind of stuff to talk about, and let her know.
Let me know.
Let her know. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know if that boy texted me. That's the reason I was kind of in a hurry.
We met on Match and found out we only lived 10 minutes apart. Could that be a coincidence, or was it simply God's plan? I loved your sense of humor and how you made me smile. You were a little nerdy, but then so was I can still remember the fragrance of those beautiful yellow roses that you brought me on our first date. Oh, we were like two lost souls that found each other. You told me what love was all about. I thought I would never love again, but that's when your love walked in. We were like two lost souls that found each other, like two lost souls that found each other. I was going through deep depression. You brought joy into my life. You have always accepted me for who I am. I feel like I can be me when I'm around you. Now I can still remember the fragrance of those beautiful yellow roses that you brought me on our first date. Oh, we were like two lost souls that found each other. You told me what love was all about. I thought I would never love again, but that's when your love walked in. We were like two lost souls that found each other, like two lost souls that found each other. Years went by, we went on a roller coaster of life, but we never gave up on each other and stayed by each other's side. Oh, but you lost your way to God somewhere down the journey, and that's when I realized it was my turn to save you and help you restore your hope, just like when you did the same to me when we were like two lost souls that found each other. You told me what love was all about. I thought I would never love again, but that's when your love walked in. We were like two lost souls that found each other, like two lost souls that found each other. Your kiss still gets to me. Our love keeps growing stronger. I always feel secure in your arms. I never question